Hey, you guys. Thank you for your patience. We had a little connectivity issue. And so before we even get started, I want to do one thing. Let's do some housekeeping. If you would do me a favor, if you came anywhere from other than YouTube, go to this link below. Go to youtube.com/at access Kevin. And you'll see there's a little button. You can subscribe to this channel. You'll see that you can like this video. You can also become a member. And in that way, if you can do a little bit of support on the show, you'll allow me to go ahead and do this thing remote while I'm not on tour. Also, this show would not be possible if it wasn't for the amazing five-star guitars based in Beaverton, Oregon. If you're interested in playing guitars, or you have a guitar that needs some repair, or you want to buy accessories or get lessons, go to fivestarguitars.com/all access live. You'll see a promo code there, All Access 15. It's going to save you 15% off the products that you see. And since they're based in Oregon, there's no sales tax. So you're saving a ton of dough. You learn how to become a rock star like my next guest. And so speaking of that next guest, you've been patient for a few minutes. This dude's a busy rock star, as you probably already know. He's the lead singer of the band Black and Blue. He also sang for the band Warrant. Amazing drummer from the band Movie Star, and also a couple of other tribute bands. So let's get him started right now, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Jaime St. James, how you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm so good, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. So I don't know if you recognize here. Let's see if I can do this. I have the illustrious Rainbow Bar and Grill in the backdrop here. So I wanted to make. Want you feel a little at home, So
I thought you had a cool house.
What's that, buddy?
I just thought you had a cool house.
Yeah, you know what? I have a cool green screen right behind me, so that I bet you've spent 2 hours in one of these booths, huh?
Oh, yes, many times.
Yeah,
all kinds of strange things happen in those booths.
I'll bet, man. Well, some of those things you feel free to share, man. It's all good.
Just a lot of memories of being in those booths of different things. So a lot of crazy stuff.
A lot of people gotten in trouble in those booths, man. And I will. I have a housekeeping request of you, my friend, and this may work, it may not. I know that you took a little bit of time getting on a different device. Is there any possibility that you can turn your phone sideways?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, there we go. That's that gives me a much better perspective. It looks like we're on even ground. That's awesome, man.
There we go. Oh, where are these? Oh, now I see.
Glorious, fantastic. You know what? And then now that I've shown off my my rainbow, I'm gonna go down here. Boom, and then we get to see more of you because you're the star of the show, baby. So, dude, it's been a couple years. I'm glad to see you.
Nice to see you. Good to be here.
You survived COVID, man. So here's a cheers to that.
I did. I had COVID. I got it 3 times.
Did you really?
Yeah. Man. Every time I go on a cruise, we play a lot of Black and Blue plays Monsters of Rock cruise, Kiss cruise. Every time I went on a cruise, I come back with it.
That's I've been really fortunate, dude, and I don't even want to jinx it. I've done 80s cruise. I've done 80s in the sand or the sands down in Cancun. Lots and lots of traveling. No COVID yet. So,
it's a piece of cake. I win. No big deal. Honestly, they try so hard. You have to pass all kind of COVID tests, and you got to take tests before you get on the boat. They do a really good job of doing that, but somebody sneaks in, and it happens.
It does. You got Monsters of Rock coming up in March as well, right? So you're doing it again. You guys are like the one band that seems to come back every year, right?
Yeah, there's a few of us. We did the very first Monsters of Rock cruise. I think it was 2012, something like that. Yeah. And we've been on almost every one. I think we've missed like 2. But we almost do it every year. Yeah. They love us.
They do, man. Once you get into, I guess if people haven't gone on one of these events, it's crazy, man, because it's a nonstop party. You've got bands playing on the poolside decks, and you've got some playing in the theaters inside the venues, or inside in the boat, and it's sort of like you're on constantly bumping into different artists, and so it seems like I know 90% of the bands, personally, and so it's kind of like a family reunion when you get on the boat, right?
Yeah, it is. You do. You hang out with everybody pretty much. You get to you know, see a lot of people that you see all the time, you know, every year on those things. The people that go on the boat to see the bands are like a big giant family. You know, they just love to get together every year, and it's a great thing for them. And I get to see the other guys in bands that I know and hang out with them a little. And you know, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a big family boat full of rock and roll fools, and we love it.
Yeah, man. Hey, do you jump in on some of the jams that they have on the boat?
Oh God, I think I have. Yeah, I have. At some points, I think I know I jammed with Ron Keel a few years back.
Right on.
I think I sang with Stevie and Tuff once. I don't know if anybody else. I kind of stick to my black and blue stuff, but I've done a few.
Well, you know, I'm glad you mentioned Ron Keel, you know, because he's doing the rock thing again, right? Ronnie Lee Keel he did his country thing, and now he's back rocking, right? So, then Todd LaTorre, Queensryche, he's on those boats oftentimes, and I know that he sits in playing some drums. And having been a drummer yourself, man, you have any interest at all in jumping up and throwing down on some skins?
I do. I love playing drums. I played on one of the Monsters of Rock cruises. I think it was the year before or whatever. It was a year or two ago, maybe. I played drums. We did a kind of a Cold Gin reunion. Cold Gin was my Kiss tribute band, but I was Peter Criss. Now this was in the 90s. Tommy Thayer was on guitar, and we had Spiro Papadopoulos and Chris McLernan shared the Gene thing, whoever was around, and Anthony White was Paul Stanley. But we were all together except Tommy, of course, wasn't there. But Mark Ferrari played in his place, and it was great. I played drums for a whole hour Kiss set. It was fantastic. I love it.
That's sweet, man. You know, you mentioned Tommy, and so before we get started, and I did a little bit of promo on the show, and of course, everybody that knows Jaime St. James and knows Black and Blue, of course, knows that Tommy Thayer, founding member with you, went on to play with Kiss, and probably know a little bit about the Tommy's entrance to the band. But you mentioned that he was actually in Cold Gin with you. So was that actually prior to Black and Blue? Were you guys doing that prior to Black and Blue? Okay.
No, Cold Gin happened in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after Black and Blue had broken up, our record deal was done. We did our run, and so we broke up and doing other things. I was actually in a band called Freight Train Jane at the time that I put together. But Tommy called me one day and said, "Hey, we need a drummer. You're perfect, I think, for this. So you want to play drums on this Kiss thing?" I said, I didn't even know what they were doing. So I said, yeah. Come down. I said, any chance I get to play drums, I'll jump at it. But I went down there and I went to a rehearsal room and I just started playing. And I play Eric Singer told me when I saw him last, he said, "You play like Peter Criss. You got that swing. You got that feel. You got to feel like Peter Criss, even more than I do." And he said that to me, and I said, "Wow." Well, anyway,
nice. You're like, why didn't you call me and get me the job?
Yeah, hey, I'll take it.
Right, man. Well, yeah, I mean, Peter was originally a jazz guy.
What's that?
Peter was originally a jazz guy, right? So that's where he got his lilt, man. Did you have some jazz background?
I played in a stage band kind of a thing in school. I played in orchestra. I played a lot of stuff. I just have a different feel than a lot of guys do in a way, and I'm old school, I guess. I played with a stage band that was horns and everything, and I was reading drum music, so I'm playing like that swing kind of feel. So that was during my young days, and it kind of held over. I think I played in marching bands. I did all that stuff, but when I went down to this rehearsal room and we started playing the songs, and it sounded really good. And they said, "Well," I said, "What are we doing? What are you doing this for?" And it said, "Well, we're going to play a show, and we're just going to play a bunch of Kiss songs." And I said, "Well, if we're going to do that, I'll do it, but I'm only doing it if we put on makeup, because I want to do the whole thing." And I said, "We'll either be the goats of Hollywood or the heroes." And so those guys said, "You know what? That'd be fun." So we put the makeup on. It looked good. We put on black T-shirts and black leather pants and stuff. We didn't have the outfits, but we played that show. But musically, we were spot on. We were really good, and so it just went from there. People freaked over it. So we went out costumes. We got the guy that makes the Kiss boots. We went to that guy.
You did? Wow.
It cost $1,000 a pair, you know. And,
oh my God.
We had the whole costumes made from Kiss Alive. And we went out the next time and did it full blown. We had a Kiss sign made. We had police lights in Firehouse. We had the siren.
Wow.
Came down and blew fire. He spit the blood. We did everything. And Gene and Paul loved it.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a million tributes out there to Kiss, of course, man. But and Gene, of course, he's pretty protective of the brand, right? So,
well, in 1992, not so many. There were there were no tribute bands. There were hardly any. It wasn't a thing yet.
Sure.
We just happened to stumble upon this thing, and it just worked, and people loved it because they loved that old school. We did the vintage thing, you know. But there were no other tribute band that I even knew of was Atomic Punks. They were around back then. Van Halen with the Ralph.
Yeah.
But it was a rare thing. Nobody was doing tributes, you know. So obviously that's what every city has, tributes to everything now. But
right. Yeah. I see in our chat here, man. I see Nicole DeCosta's here saying you're both. Your signal broke up for just a second, so I think I talked over the top of you. But I see that Nicole DeCosta's here in the chat. She said we're both so fun. So happy New Year. So Nicole is Tommy's sister-in-law, right? So married to John Thayer, amazing guitarist and yeah. So Nicole, nice to see you here. You just saw the whole gang, right? You went to the last show at the End of the Road tour, right?
For both nights at Madison Square Garden.
Wow, I saw some pictures backstage. Man, that looked crazy. Was it bittersweet?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was amazing for me because I hadn't been. We took a car right into the backstage gardens right in the back, like I did in 1985 when I was opening for Kiss, and I hadn't even. My God. 85.
It was the first time.
First.
So I see a Bunny Man drummer here, seeing throwing down nickname of Saint, and who did I see that just popped in on our chat here? You've got you of course have some rabid fans out there, man. I'm trying to look at some of the people that checked in on the other platforms, but I have you talked about some of the historic stuff, and when you were back, so people might not know if you didn't go deep into the historical part of Black and Blue. Black and Blue was a Portland band, right? You guys first started out in Portland, and you're in Movie Star together with Tommy, right?
Yes. The nucleus kind of goes all the way back to me in a band that I was in called Jet. This was when I was 15, 16, whatever.
Okay.
And that kind of morphed into Movie Star. Same guys that was in Jet, but Movie Star, and we at a certain point we lost one of the guitarists. I can't even remember why, but we needed a guitarist. So Todd Jensen, who's in Journey now, but a good friend of ours, Todd Jensen, gave me Tommy's number. Gave me and my singer Julian Raymond's. He gave us his number. We called him up. He came down and auditioned, and there was a couple of things that happened, but eventually he joined the band Movie Star. So we were playing all the clubs around town as Movie Star with Tommy Thayer on guitar, yes.
It's funny. You said a couple of things happen. And if you're not in a band, you might not realize all the little things that go on. When a couple of things happen, there's a lot behind that story. So
well, there is, but I don't know how long you got,
Yeah. Well, Todd was probably with Sequel then, is that right?
Todd was, I think, my God, that was really early on. I guess Sequel was around yet. Yeah. They must.
Yeah. So a person that supplied me some info that from way back, Buko, right? So Buko's IVU, the photographer, he was the one that actually told me that you were originally playing drums for Wild Dogs, even before Dean Castronovo.
I did. This was right in the time that Black and Blue formed. And so it's about around 1981. And they called me up and they needed a drummer. So Danny Kurth was one of my best friends growing up. And he was in that band Jet I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
Well, he it was in his basement. We went over there and we started writing songs, and I just needed a drummer. And I said, well, I'll do it, but I got this black and blue thing. They didn't even really know what that was. I said, well, I'm going to be a singer. But anyway, I played with them, and we wrote a bunch of songs, probably about 10, 12 songs. And we went into the studio and recorded a bunch of them. And those recordings ended up on the first Wild Dog records. Half of that record,
Really?
Playing drums, including the song called Born to Rock, which was on the KGON record or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt McCourt fronting that band.
Yes, Matt McCourt. Yep.
Oh my God. You got to have some crazy Matt stories.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Got a good voice.
You got a good voice?
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
He's got a Lemmy vibe, of course, right? I mean, he's a punk rocker, metal guy all the way.
When he first started singing Wild Dogs in the basement, when it was early on, he sounded kind of like a smoother toned David Lee Roth kind of. He had a good sound.
Wow.
He had a good. I thought he had a great voice. He morphed over the years of Wild Dogs because I wasn't there later, but in the beginning, very melodic. His lyric vocals were melodic. He came up with great melodies.
Well, since you were playing drums in those projects, I mean, who were you planning ever on being a lead singer? Was that the ultimate aspiration? All right.
No. In Movie Star, I sang a lot because we did 4 sets a night. So we did 3 cover song sets, and then we did an original set at the end of the night. And I sang I sang half the set, all of it, covers, originals. I was a singing drummer, but I was front, and I just knew I could sing. It was just really weird when I made the transition, and in Black and Blue, I stood out there. It's just standing out there is very weird at first. It took me a little time to get, comfortable with it. But it was just weird, and I felt awkward. It was hard to sing. I said, "Can I sit down and sing?" I'm so used to it. I got good. I got good at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably spent a lot of time playing in clubs with Dean as well, right?
Well, Dean was younger. I played. I think it was a high school dance, and he was a little kid in high school. Came up to me, and I was older. So Dean, I knew him because he goes, "I can play drums." I said, "I bet you can, kid. Now leave me alone." He turned out to be this amazing friggin' drummer, but
and singer, right?
Wild Dogs. In fact, he played my drums in the basement at Danny's house to take over for me, and he destroyed my drums. He broke everything.
I'm sure, dude hits hard, man. You still have a kid at the house right now?
What's that?
Do you have a kid at the house right now?
I have a bird.
A bird?
You hear a bird?
No. I was wondering if you had a drum kit there at the house. Oh.
You said a kid. I got no kid. I got a bird.
No, not that you know of. Yeah.
You never know. I had a kit. I got rid of it. I'm gonna get another one. I had a DW. The last kit I had it all the way up until last year.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I sold it, and I'm going to get a different kit. But I'm going to always have a drum kit. I got a guitar, I got a bass, I got an amp. I got to have another. I'll get another kit. I got everything.
Are you doing demos there? Because I know that you were working on. No, I
don't. I used to have an M box in the computer and the Pro Tools, and I used to write. I did that when I was in Warrant. I wrote stuff and laid it down and brought it in I just did everything myself. I played. Just did programmed drums. Played guitar, played bass. I even had a keyboard I did stuff on, and I sang. And I just brought them finished songs and said, "Hey, check this out." But I just stopped. I don't really do much of that anymore. I just play guitar and I play for fun. I love writing songs and seeing them come to life. I just need a reason to do it. Is if I do a record again someday, I'm in. I'll do it.
You mentioned the Warrant thing, and I had read a really cool piece about. Well, first I should say that you've probably gotten exhausted from all the people that are asking all the questions about Tommy. And, Tommy obviously went on and did his other thing. You got a great lineup now. I know Brandon Cook is in the band. You've got, of course, original Pat Young and Pete Holmes on drums. And you got, now you got Mick Caldwell on guitar. Is that right? So,
Yes.
And so killer band. Awesome. Know all those guys. And, but when you got the Warrant thing, I remember reading about how you were sort of thrown to the wolves and you had to go out and nobody announced that you were the new singer for Warrant, that you were, was it Night Ranger that you guys were supporting? Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Your first gig, you had to go out and just, hey, by the way, I'm the guy.
Because it was Daytona Bike Fest. There's like 5,000 people, I think, 6,000, and I was opening for Night Ranger. And I told the guys, I go, when are you going to announce that it's me? They go, we're not. They go, you're not. They said, no, they might not pay us as much, so we're just going to go there. I thought, that sucks. I go, really? So, yeah, I was sick. I felt a little sick before. I was standing on the stairs getting ready to walk up on the stage, and everybody's there cheering along. I go, they think Jani Lane's coming out. And Jack Lane saw me and rubbing my shoulders saying, Jamie, you're all right, man. You're going to be able to do this just fine. Just go be you. You got this. He could see I was kind of sick to my stomach. And we were with Night Ranger, Black and Blue did back in the day. So I knew Jack. So I just went out there and half the people were like shocked and the other half didn't even know the difference. They don't know who's in the band. But it really was. By the second or third song, everybody was just having a good time, and it worked fine. I mean, after the show, I just went, good God, it worked.
Yeah, right, man.
Yeah.
How long did you end up doing that gig?
What's that?
How long did you end up doing the gig?
For about 4 years.
That's a long tenure, man, for sure.
For that. I mean, I didn't know how long it would be. I was a replacement guy. Jani Lane was alive and well. And he came back in the band. I was there from 2004, 2008. So it was 3.5 years. And Jani came back. And I was like, that's where he's supposed to be, I mean, I was bummed a certain way because I was so used to those guys. And for me, a band, so it's kind of lost all my family at once there. And I said, all right, well, on the way I go. And that's when I started really concentrating back on Black and Blue. Yeah.
Well, I know you had done the Live at Key Largo record, which is really cool, and it was neat because having moved to Portland, I moved to Portland in '94. I grew up in Montana, and I was a huge Black and Blue fan. I'll never forget seeing Miss Mystery on Headbangers Ball, back in the '80s, and it was fun to move to Portland in a town that had a real wide mix of bands that I was a huge fan of. Black and Blue, of course, Dan Reed Network, I was a big fan of, and at that point that you talked about in the Warrant, I mean, a lot of those bands, the music genres weren't really supporting great hard rock bands anymore, So but you have a rabid fan base. I look at the M3 footage and I run into people all over the place that are huge Black and Blue fans that are excited that you're still out gigging, which is why you're still on the Monsters of Rock tour every year.
Yeah, listen, we do have, if you know about Black and Blue and you were smart enough to get the records back in the day, we're good. There's just, we didn't hit that one level to where everybody in the world knows the name Black and Blue, but the music's there and the people that know it, and they stay, we got great fans. Let me just put it that way. And you're correct. Patrick Young has been there since day one, always there, and a very important person in the band. Took over the vocal spot when Tommy left, because Tommy did most of the background vocals. Excuse me.
No problem.
Tommy did all the background vocals, and Pat really stepped up and learned how to sing those properly, so we could continue on. And Pete Holmes is still here. He skipped away to do Michael Schenker and Rat here and there, but he's always been in the band. Okay, he's missing for a while. That's all. So we have 3 out of 5 original guys, which is cool. Brandon Cook's been in the band like 10 years, 12 years. I don't know what it is. I never remember. Been here a long time. And Mick is the new guy, Mick Caldwell, and he's fitting in great. And here's the good news about Black and Blue right now. Pete Holmes relocated up to Portland, Oregon again. So the whole band is conversing together. That is a rare thing for us because we've been divided up between Oregon and California for so long. I'm the only guy left in California, so the band is tightening up. We're going to be better than ever. And 2024 is a big year for Black and Blue because it's the 40th year anniversary of the first album. That's
right on.
a thing for us. That came out in 1984. So we're going to try to do more shows in 2024. And we're actually going to do the first record in its entirety in order and, do that kind of thing and then play a bunch of songs after. So not every show will be that, but a lot of them. We're working up 2 different versions of our set for this year. And we're agency and say, let's get out there and, let's just really kind of try to blow it up in 2024. So we'll see what happens. It's what we want to do,
Yeah, man. You can't get the supporting act on the Kiss thing anymore now that they've just ended the road, right? So you got to find another gig.
Yeah, and then, the other question that I get all the time, and I'll just try to answer it here as best I can. Everybody's on social media is like, well, now Tommy's coming back now. He's done with Kiss, right? Well, no, it's not that simple. He's not coming back. Tommy has got a lot going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tommy jam with us sometime, if it's possible that something might happen with Tommy. I mean, I love writing songs with the guy, and we may do something like that. We might record something, but for him to actually be a member of Black and Blue, I don't think that's going to happen. He's got a lot of other things going on. So just so everybody knows, that's really not the case. But I love him. We love him. And he's always welcome to be in Black and Blue any day he wants. But I think the best we can hope for is every now and then you'll see him up on stage with us just jamming away because he loves it. Yeah, so.
He does. Yeah, man, that's a special thing too, right? It's cool that you guys maintain the family thing. For people that might not know, I mean, aside from Kiss, he's really involved in a lot of charity work. He does the Thayer Family Foundation here in Portland, and he's done all sorts of work with university here in Portland. So he's always doing a lot of fundraisers, and he's involved with his family a lot. So good on him, man. He's developed, or he's dedicated a lot of his life to Kiss and the empire behind all that, right? So it might be more fun.
He's got, he has a lot to do with Kiss other than even just playing guitar. So
of course
he'll be busy and doing all kind of different things, So and anyway, he doesn't want to travel around Black and Blue style. He's in a private jet. Come on, man.
Right. Yes. Like, speaking of that, man, this is going to be funny. You probably don't even remember this, but one of my first interactions with you, you came back to Portland with Tommy. You guys were doing a really cool event as a Friends of Jeff. So it was the support of Jeff Warner, Patrick's, or Jeff Young. I'm sorry. Yeah, Patrick's brother. It's got ALS, and you did a fundraiser down at Burt Bodies, and you did the gig, and afterward, you needed to ride back to the hotel, and I was like, "Damn!" I had just had my son. I had this total grandma minivan, so I threw you in the back of my van.
Really? I don't know.
I had a baby seat back there, probably a bunch of sippy cups and whatever else, and I'm shoving that stuff aside and throwing it in the back of my van. Humiliated beyond all belief. I didn't have some, like rock. Rock. No, I know. At that point, though, it was humiliating then. But those events were super cool too, because you would come back through and support Pat's brother, and it was neat because I remember Gene being there and doing auction stuff, and he was just one by one, he was just auctioning off items, whatever he could do to help save and make money for Patrick's brother. So,
as ALS. And Jeff Young, Patrick's brother, is basically a miracle because he's had so long and he's still alive and doing well as far as best he can, live, and he's doing pretty well. And we were very proud to play that with him. And I think we made him a good amount of money, a good chunk of money, to get him a van to where it could, put his wheelchair in and get around. But he's had he's got a spirit like nobody else. This guy,
it's incredible. Yeah,
and he is some kind of miracle, and I admire him so much. He's strong-willed to live, and he's got a the guy's body doesn't work, but his brain's the same. He's got the same. Always was a fun guy, a funny guy. He was a great guy to hang around, and he still is. He just can't use his body like he did.
Right.
He's an inspiration. He really is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I know a lot of you guys have a good sense of humor. I was going to have fun with this. I mentioned Buko earlier. So Buko, photographer, an iconic photographer from the Portland rock area. He goes back to the rock history. He shared some stuff with me. Do you mind if I share a few photos?
Go ahead. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, let's take a look. Maybe you can talk me through a couple of these, man. Some of these are really really fun. These this looks like probably around the Heat era. I mean, the Without Love era.
That's in Heat because I can tell what I'm wearing. So that
Okay.
and my hair is really long in the front, so I just threw it back. Yeah.
Nice. That and a bunch of these probably have Tommy in them, but of course. But
that's me with black hair when Black and Blue first started. The reason why I had black hair is because Movie Star went to LA and some management team took us to a place in Beverly Hills to give everybody a makeover. And they wanted to cut everybody's hair short. And I said, you're not cutting my hair. So I said, we got to do something. I said, okay, dye it. Make it dye it a color, but you're not cutting it. So they dyed it blue black. So that was, in the very end of Movie Star going into Black and Blue, I had this dark hair. Yeah.
Love it. Love it, man. That's good stuff. Well, the same era looks like here.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You went
probably at Zach's, one of the clubs. And that's Patrick Young, youngster there next to me. I'm in the middle of Tommy.
Where did the Heidi nickname come from?
Heidi?
Yeah.
Were girl names. He was Ginger for a while, He's got T. Gorgon, but that's his brother did that to him, I think. But we always call he was like a young girl, but he was young.
And still, I love this one, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think, and I'll bet you money, I have braces on in that picture.
Wow, right on. That's and that is that Pete in the back?
I can't even tell. No, I don't know who that. I don't know what that is.
It doesn't look like him. But Concert Tom's on that kit back there. This is newer. This is the reunion.
Yeah, that's like I think that was in the 2000s when we had played in Portland.
Yeah, that looks like maybe the Bravati show that I was talking about for Jeff.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I can only tell by what I'm wearing. That's the only way I
Right.
know.
Isn't that funny, man? Well, it's good that you've got the brain cells to remember the outfits, though,
That's how I know what year it is or what time period, anyway. Yes, that's got to be Starry Night. That's the Starry Night.
Okay.
At some point, Black and Blue played the Starry Night a bunch of times. And I know that's Starry Night because that's the only time I wore that coat with fur on it.
Really? Okay. And I think I can see the pillar in the side there, which every band that comes through Portland knows that while it's an iconic venue, it's the worst place to have a big pillar right in the middle of the stage in front of.
I remember that. Yeah.
I actually just saw Wolfgang Van Halen play there about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he said, and over here on my left, we have the amazing pillar. And he was trying to talk to his bass player, but it's become special and iconic. Look at you, the love you have with Tommy. This is great.
Yeah, always. Yeah, that's great. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's probably Starry Night still. Yeah, that's Starry Night there for sure.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's Rock on Portland.
That's right, buddy. And actually, you tape the pillar off with your yellow striping, which is good. That's good.
Smash their head into it.
Here's the night that I had to throw you in my van. This is the embarrassing night there with you, me, and Pat.
Probably don't remember it. So
yeah, that's. We'll just we'll move right on. This is going to be really fun. There we go. Do you remember this one?
I want to say that might be when we were either in Europe or Japan.
Well, what Buko says is that this was your very first show at LA Coliseum.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It seems like an iconic time. You got Jeff, you got Whoop back there in the doorway, hiding him in the back.
Yeah.
And Pete's really looking Blackie Lawless right there. I remember him looking that way on the first record. He definitely had a Blackie hairstyle.
He did. It was kind of he had a kind of a Motley Crue Blackie thing going on there.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the first time we played the Coliseum, which would have been opening for Whitesnake and Dio, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was Dio. Okay, Blue.
I've had a lot of players that have worked with Dio. I had Rudy Sarzo, of course, and Robert Sarzo on the show. I think you played with Robert in Hard Rock All Stars, right?
Yeah.
And Vinny Appice, of course, I've had on the show, and a lot of the guys that have played with Dio just have unbelievable Dio stories. So if you can pull one back from the memory banks, you have a good Dio story you want to share?
Oh, Trying to remember. We played probably about 6 or 7 shows with them. Not a lot. We did some Southern California shows. Maybe 10, 12 shows. I can't remember anything that's crazy or anything like that. I loved playing with Dio. It was great shows. We played Irvine Meadows. I just remember it was when he had a stage set that looked like a castle and all the monitors were stone things and stuff. But it was cool, yeah. But there was nothing real crazy with Dio. We would have been there a few more weeks, probably would have found something crazy to do.
I always heard just he had such a kind heart. He was
Well,
always really good.
a very good guy, nice guy.
Yeah, that doesn't happen every time in music.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry to break that to you folks, but not everybody's sunshine and roses.
No,
Right.
there's some jerks and some assholes out there.
There's Jaime St. James back in Wild Dogs, I think.
Look, I don't know who that is.
Oh, Movie Star. This is Movie Star.
But okay, so that's when Danny was on bass. That's Danny Kurth from Wild Dogs on bass in Movie Star. Okay. That was short-lived because right after that we changed our name to Loved by Millions, and Todd Jensen started playing bass for us. But that's a rare. Yeah, I thought it was Wild Dogs too, but no, that's Movie Star. Danny on bass.
Nice, yeah, man. And look at you. You got a real Tommy Aldridge look about you and your cymbals and your drums right there.
Didn't I?
Yeah, man. Who were your real?
Singing.
What's that, buddy?
Look at that microphone swinging around there. I'm singing.
That's right. Were you actually swinging it in, or did you have somebody back there bringing it in for you?
Myself, but yeah, I think I only have one tom in between the kicks too.
Nice, good stuff, man. You, when you were first in, this is kind of like backing up in the conversation, but you mentioned that you had a little bit of the Peter Criss swing to your playing. But who were you growing up playing records to?
Playing records, it was weird because we were kind of poor, so it was hard for me to get records. But my brother was way older than me, and he left behind. I guess he loved Creedence and the Beach Boys and Paul Revere and the Raiders, because that's what I had. Wow. And as I got older, I was able to buy records. And very first record I think I bought was Led Zeppelin. I bought Led Zeppelin 2, and I bought Led Zeppelin with the one with Stairway to Heaven on it, whatever they call it. I loved that one. Black Dog and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then I bought Billion Dollar Babies, Alice Cooper, and that was like my favorite thing. I loved it. That was 1973, and I saw Billion Dollar Babies tour at the Coliseum in '73. I was 13, and that was amazing. So that for me, the Coliseum meant a lot because that was my first concert ever at Alice Cooper. So, but and then '74, I got the first Kiss record. I would walk to Music Millennium and buy records up there, and just whatever they would come out. I bought Kiss just because of the cover, the first Kiss album.
Yeah.
I don't know what it sounds like. I don't even care. I'm buying.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that great, man? Yeah. He brought it up. I'm going to put it out here, folks. If you're outside the area and you want to find the greatest collection of music, the link below, musicmillennium.com, right there. Greatest record store on the planet.
They helped shape me. I mean, I went there and I saw it had just come out, AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. And I said, what is this one like? And they would play it for me. They'd say, you can check it out. Let's let you listen to it. And I heard Bon Scott's voice, and I thought, oh my God, they must have a midget singing for him or something. Because his little voice, I thought, I never heard anybody sound like that. Sorry, I think midget's a bad word these days, but whatever, I'm old, so I don't care.
You were young when you thought it.
That's what I said. So, and they said, no, he's a regular guy, but he's but anyway, it was just an amazing voice. I never heard that before. So, and plus it just rocked. So yeah. Music Millennium turned me on to all kinds of great music when I was a kid, because I didn't know. So I just go there and I just trust either them or I trust the album covers. But anyway, different time.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? That's the crazy thing. I think about all the albums that I bought because of the covers, and bands would try to, they would try to entice kids to come and buy. They'd have real sexualized covers. And I was a huge Scorpions fan, right? Like early Scorps were my favorite, and now half those album covers are banned, right? So, I think if you got some out there, they're collector's items. But were you a Scorps fan?
Some of these were pushing it a little bit far, I think. So.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But were you a Scorpions fan?
Yeah, early Scorpions loved it. I love the early, that Taken by Force, and the earlier stuff with Ulrich Roth.
Yeah,
that's great stuff. All the old stuff was amazing to me. I liked stuff like, when Blackout came out. As soon as they started whistling, I kind of lost it. But
yeah. Well, Blackout was still way pre-whistle, just so you know. But yeah, no, everything up through Schenker was good.
Sharon, Catch a Train, all that stuff that was so great. Even like Robot Man or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the early stuff a lot, just like Judas Priest. I love early Judas Priest. I got Sad Wings of Destiny when it came out. I didn't even hear Rock-a-Rolla, which was the first one, but I got Sad Wings of Destiny, and that was before they got big, before British Steel and all that. So, and I was just not, again, that vocalist, man. I was just, loved that.
Totally, man.
Very early, like Queen. I had Queen 2 before, I think I got it around the same time I got Sheer Heart Attack. So that was way before Night at the Opera.
Yeah. That's, man, well, a good set of influences. They're not bad at all, man. How about this one? This is going to be really fun. You'll enjoy this one.
Yeah, that's me playing drums, black hair. Cool.
Look at that guy. Yeah, good up close shots too. I mean, drummers always get sort of the the worst shots, man. Photographers can rarely get in there, but let's see. All right, so now we're gonna go back even farther.
Oh,
ready for this one?
High school.
Cleveland High School. We've got Jim Bond, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
There I am. That mug. Jim Pond. Yeah, look at that face. Look at the hair, dude. You got the same hair.
I do.
I love these shots.
Oh, that's Jet, but that's Jet. My band Jet. That's the one I was talking about that started it all. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. I love that these shots are still in there.
It looks big.
Well, you were the, I think, was it say the sophomore Prince? No, the junior Prince.
Yeah, I was a Prince. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I was. but you early on, I wanted that long hair. So
yeah. There was no denying that this guy in the back was not going to be a superstar, right?
Yeah, I held the hair, still got it. I ain't letting it go.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Well, as mine gets thinner, I just try to go up more and add more color to it, But, back, okay, so that's crazy. Yeah. I remember seeing pictures of you back, with bandanas, and a lot of artists, they'll go with bandana when this stuff starts to just disappear, goes back farther and farther, the Klaus look, right? But no, but you've got a good full head. You, and actually Pete too, you and Pete, man, it's crazy. You and Pete Holmes. For the amount of product you threw in your hair back in the day, you must have had the right stylist.
It's just genetics or something. I mean, my hair is not as thick as it was when I was 17, but come on,
sure.
I'm in my 60s, so to have this much, I'm happy. I'm fine.
Yeah, no, man, no, hang on to it as long as you have. And but from those days, so chronologically, I went way back in the yearbook there, but people, and you mentioned, I think this a little bit ago, that people might not realize how much Tommy had involvement with the Kiss machine, but Black and Blue really got to that next level because of Gene, right? Wasn't that when he signed you guys to the label? Is that correct?
No.
No,
not
really.
He
got involved later on. That's right. In Heat, in the Heat. That's right.
We got there on our own. We came down to Los Angeles in 1982 and started playing clubs. We met the Dee Dee. She married Ron Keel, so she's Dee Dee Keel, but she wasn't back then. And Dee Dee took a chance on us and booked us at the Troubadour Whiskey You know, and I think we played the Roxy. We played all the places down here eventually, but we started playing around Los Angeles, sleeping on the couch. We just knew a girl that knew a girl that let us all sleep on her couch. And Robin Crosby from Rat lived there as well. And we had nothing. We had nothing. And we just stayed here and played. And we go back and forth to Portland when we had to. But we ended up getting a manager named Garo who helped us out quite a bit. He had a pizza parlor. He didn't know much about rock and roll, but he said, "I'm going to manage you boys," you know. So it was crazy. We came here in '82. We got signed in '83. We were at the right place at the right time with good songs, and we had the right look, you know. And I knew that wasn't by an accident. I knew what we were supposed to do, and I knew what we were supposed to look like, and I knew what we were supposed to sound like. That's why we formed Black and Blue from Movie Star, because Movie Star wasn't that. And I just didn't see it going in the right direction. That wasn't the right direction. So we got here the right way at the right time, and we were good. So we got signed, and that's from there on. You know, we got signed to Geffen Records, and it took off from there. We didn't meet Gene until '85, after we had done our second record up in Canada, Without Love, which was a big deal because that's why John Bon Jovi used those guys for Slippery When Wet, which went huge and started a whole thing, right. Little Mountain Studios. But we were kind of ahead of the curve again on that. So, you know, we knew what we were doing and we're good. It's just some things eluded us somehow, and it's just the way the world spins, you know. And I'm really happy at the thing that we did, and that is make sure we did good records, good songs, spend good time. Yeah. Songs, and that doesn't die. It's not going to die. It'll be here when I'm gone. So I like that. It's cool.
Legacy. I mean, that's what legacy. Yeah. Well, you know, I mentioned the Gene thing just because I do remember. Yeah, at that point, that was when you guys did in Heat. That was kind of when Tommy also started getting involved with working with Gene, right? So he was doing like some.
In '86, and that was cool. You know, we had just got off the road with Kiss, and we asked Gene to produce us because we wanted to have somebody that was on our side more than, you know, the producer was usually on the record company's side more than the band. We wanted a guy that was on the band side. So I got a hair that's giving me the fit. I should have took my hat off. Now my hair is all on my face. So Gene was a big part of us because we did 2 records with him. And I loved it, every second of it. I loved Gene Simmons, and I loved working with him. It was so much fun, and it was such a good experience. And everybody I worked with, I thought was great. Dieter Dierks, Bruce Fairbairn, Bob Rock. But, you know, and Gene was just a lot of fun. I do love Gene. He's a great guy. And if you only know the thing you see on TV or that you see, you know, in interviews or something, there's a Gene that's a really great guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He's a good dude.
Definitely has a good sense of humor. I you know, the few times that I've met him too, I mean, and Paul, I mean, Paul just seemed just really, you know, a kind-hearted guy too. A lot of the times I'd seen him, it's just weird.
He's a good dude.
And I think he and Gene both have some involvement now in the A&A Casino up here in Portland. They opened up a club or some kind of venue right outside the casino.
Probably a Rock and Brews.
That's it. I think that's it. Yeah. So I haven't been up there, but I keep seeing pictures on socials and, you know, I got a bone to pick with you, Pete Holmes, if you're watching this, man. If you move back up here and didn't reach out to me, we're going to have to go and we're going to have to connect.
He doesn't talk to me even. I had to find out through Pat. He doesn't talk, so don't feel bad.
All right.
It's the way
I saw that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I forgot what I was even going to say. Don't worry about it.
No, I didn't even notice that Carrie Bonner Roche has been out here in the chat, throwing some notes out here, thanking Bucco, and she's excited about the 40-year anniversary. So, yeah, there has to be a tour. Do you have an agency that's working on dates for you guys right now?
Yeah. Our agency is Big Time Entertainment. Sullivan Big is our booking agent, and he's the guy that we're talking to about trying to get ourselves out there a little bit more this year. Now, you know, it's not easy for a band like Black and Blue. You know, Slaughter can play all day long anywhere they want. You know, everybody knows the name Slaughter, but Blue is a little more difficult. But we're going to do the best we can to get it out there before we're too goddamn old to do it. You know, I mean, it's the first album. You know, I'm 2024. I'm going to be 64 years old. So
Wow, that's great.
The good news is I can still sing all the songs in the original key, no problem.
Yeah, you're not dropping the keys at all. Look at that, man. That's
No,
great.
no, won't do it. No backing takes, no dropping keys. I'm in there. If
Love
I
it.
do it right, I'm not doing it. So I can still do it. So it's time to get out there. We'll see. If the first album is a lot of people love that first album, so it's the right thing for us to do. Go out and play. Feature that record after 40 years. So. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, you probably still throw in the hits from like
Oh,
Without
well,
Love and Heat, right?
play Nasty Nasty and Miss Mystery. We've got to play that stuff. But
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, maybe we don't play it all. We did
right.
this
Yeah.
song that we didn't write. Jonathan Cain wrote that song from Journey, and we did that for a movie.
Really? Which one?
It was a movie called Out of Bounds. Anthony Michael Hall was in it. Nobody really knows the movie, but it was for a movie. And when Geffen heard it, they said, "Hell no, we're putting it on the record, and that's the single." So we had no choice. So I love the song, but we got pissed at what happened with it.
Yeah.
That's how the band feels. Not me. I like the song. I'd play it, but a couple of guys in the band don't like it so much. It's hard to talk them into it. I got to twist their arm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fans want it, right? That's the thing. It was a big radio or a big MTV hit.
Look, we have played it and it goes over okay. There are some people that love that song, so I'm always game to play it. But it's hard to Patrick, he don't like it so much. So.
Yeah, well, Patrick can be a little bit of a curmudgeon. I'm just saying, man. So I love him, Pat. You know this. I will tell you this. So a lot of times on the show, I like to I open a fortune cookie. Whether you believe in it or not, it's just a funny and interesting thing. Sometimes it's appropriate and it fits, and sometimes it's silly. But I'm going to open up Jaime St. James fortune cookie, and as I'm opening it, I want you to think about this. I'm going to put you on the spot. I like to ask people about a guilty pleasure you might have, something that somebody might not know about Jaime St. James that you may be embarrassed to admit, but you're going to do so here. All right. So while you think about it, what you got? The next few days are a lucky time for you, Jaime. You can take a chance. You seem like somebody that doesn't mind taking risks and chances, right? You seem like you're good with that.
Chances. I'm usually pretty smart about it. If I believe it's going to work, so I'll take that chance.
Well, your business acumen is great with music. You mentioned that your everything has been a calculated sort of process when you went to LA and you had the look and you had the image and the songwriting and even knowing like where
I'm not going to by any means sit up in Portland and hope it came to me. It's not the way I'm going to it. I'm going to go find it. I'm sniffing it out and I'm going to bang it in the rear end.
Awesome, man. Well, speaking of banging it in the rear end, do you have any guilty pleasures, Jaime St. James?
Well, not that really, but guilty pleasures. I mean, look, I don't. I'm a big fan of ice cream.
Yeah, man.
I am. I mean,
what's your favorite kind?
Well, I this is a plug for Oregon. I like Tillamook.
Oh yeah.
The
Tillamook favorite flavor?
The chocolates, waffle cone, vanilla swirl caramel thing. Whoa.
Okay.
I have to do stuff like that. I quit drinking a little over a year ago, so ice cream.
Wow.
Even right.
Congratulations, man. That's a big deal.
It is. It wasn't easy. It was a strange process. It took me a while because I kind of wanted to and kind of didn't want to, but then I realized that it's just harming me. So I said enough. No more.
You feeling good?
Far into it. I'm so glad I did it. Life's better this way.
A lot of people around this time, right? So it's January 3rd today, and I have a lot of friends in the music business that had this is their first New Year's Eve that they did sober, and they were really anxious about it getting there. And afterwards, I've been talking to a bunch of people, and they're like, dude, it's incredible not to wake up with a hangover on January 1, to start the year with a clear head, So props to you, man. You said you just passed a year?
Yeah, I'm past a year now.
Awesome. Congrats, man. That is so cool. And
I recommend it if you need it. I really did.
Dude, it's not alcohol is not for everybody, for sure, man. And back in the day when you were like really like deep in the 80s Sunset Strip era, were other substances, were those a challenge for you as well?
Well, I never had a problem with drugs. I did some.
Sure.
Didn't have as big a problem as some people do because I never really sucked to me. It's like I could do it or not do it. Like there was look, it was the 80s. I'll say it. There was cocaine,
right.
And I did it. There was a day in the early 90s where I said, I'm not doing that anymore. And I never did it again. So not a big deal. You know, I mean, it was around and I did it, but I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Alcohol was more of a problem for me. I was drinking a lot, and
Sure.
and all of a sudden I realized, oh, this is going to be hard to stop, you know. But as you get older, you can't live like you're 21 anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't function.
Some people still try, you know. I mean, kudos to you for getting there, buddy. I'm proud of you, bud. I mean, honestly, your fans will appreciate it too, you know, because you're out there. This is the 40th anniversary of the first Black and Blue record, and you're going to give it to them with 100%, which is just freaking killer, right? So, dude, I'm excited to see this tour this year. I need to find the band again this year. If you guys are interested in finding out more, I suggest going to blackandblueofficial.com. I think soon Jamie might have the website updated. I saw that Rappaport's still on the website, but that'll be changed soon.
That's kind of Pat's baby, and he's working on it. He just told me yesterday, or just the other day, that he goes, it's not even updated. He's been trying it. He's got to crack a whip on our web guy, but we're gonna fix that. And by the way, Doug Rappaport's a great guitarist and a great guy.
For sure. Yeah. No, I mean, like, you know, you've had a great series of players along the way, and the thing is, I mean, as the sequence goes, as you know, I mean, it's a matter of just finding people with the right schedules and the right personalities, and it's a family, right? So when you've got 5 people together and you're trying to connect emotionally and physically and you know, musically, it takes a lot. So
we're in shape, right? Real good shape. Brandon is he's there. Brandon is our guy. Yeah. Been there for a long time now, and that means a lot, you know. We don't take that lightly. He's one of us, you know, and you know, the new kid Mick is doing well. I hear up at rehearsals. I'll find out because I'll probably be flying up to do some rehearsing with those guys in you know, a few weeks. So you know, everybody's
a great player.
He's good.
He's a great player. Yeah,
and he's great. Guy's got a good work ethic, good work ethic. And he's kicking ass. So, you know, it's Black and Blue is very family kind of like, you know. I mean, we're not one of those arguing bands. You know, look, all 5 original members of Black and Blue just wished each other Merry Christmas and Happy New Year together on a text. All 5 of the original guys, Jeff Wu Corner. So, you know, we all loved each other and still do love each other. Ways and do different things sometimes, but hey, we got 3 out of 5 original guys in this band, and that's pretty good these days.
It sure is, man. The fact that you guys are not only, you know, talking but still loving on each other, I think it's a beautiful thing. Guys, if you got here late, make sure you go back to the beginning. Check out, Jamie's got lots of good stories, tons of great photos from Buco, and you get to see, you know, wonderful pictures of Jamie in high school in all his flourishing. Go to blackandblueofficial.com. Please do me a favor. There's a link below. I'm going to put up here, youtube.com/@accesskevin. I'm just cracking the 300 show episode mark here since the pandemic, and lots of fun guests coming up. So we had the Bigfoot episode yesterday from Cliff Barrickman, who is the head of the North American Bigfoot Center. So that's good company to be in, Jamie. But I do appreciate your time, man. Thanks, Michelle, for sharing Mr. St. James with me. And dude, Happy New Year to you, man. Congratulations on a great accomplishment of a year, bro. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Rock on.